Did you know that RBI just gave a green signal to break the state government bonds into pieces? Sounds crazy, right? It's not. It's called as strips. So RBI has just introduced a strips and reconstruction facility in the state government securities as well. It was already there in the central government securities. This is called as stripping or reconstruction in the state government security. We'll be having a detailed discussion about that in this video. Before starting, I would like to tell you that if you haven't still not registered for this webinar, you can register it. It's a live webinar. Here you will be getting the 60-day study plan for your RBI Grade B examination 2025 preparation. So do register it. It's on 21st of June, 4 p.m. You can also check out our course related to RBI Grade B examination 2025. This course is with books. You will be getting the physical books as well, and you can have a look at the course highlights as well. You can download our Oliveboard application for all the updates and all the YouTube sessions PDF you can get on this application, as well as on our Telegram channel. Link of the Telegram channel here is mentioned, right? Let's quickly start this particular video. First, you need to know what do you understand by the government bonds, right? What do you mean by government bonds? Can anyone tell me in the comment section? We have heard multiple times government bonds, G6, right? Government securities. What a bond is actually? A bond is nothing but a fixed interest bearing security. So bond is nothing but a fixed interest bearing security, right? Let's suppose my company has issued a bond. So I need to serve regular interest payments. I need to pay regular interest payments as per the bonds. Let's suppose I'm annually paying it. So every year I need to make a yearly payment related to coupon rate, right? And at the maturity I need to pay the principal as a whole. So that's what a bond is all about, right? If I talk about the components of the bond, so there are two components of the bond. One is the interest and another one is the principal component, right? We do have two components of the bond. One is the interest component that you will be definitely paying off slowly in parts. Let's suppose the tenure is 10 years. So, and the interest tenure is basically annually. Interest payable is annually. We call it as coupon rate in case of bonds. So you will be paying the 10 times interest, right? 10 times you will be paying the interest in the total of 10 years. Every year, one payment, right? And at the end of the bond maturity, after 10 years, you will be repaying the principal as well. So that's why there are two components, interest as well as principal component in a bond. Now, what if I tell you that we can separate these components and can sell it off even the separate component? Like I can bundle the interest component, I can bundle the principal component and can sell these financial instruments separately. That's the concept of stripping, right? Now let's imagine a government bond as a cake. Okay, so this is a cake, this is a government bond. So most of the people here want a slice of the cake every day or every year, let's suppose. Okay, most of the people want a slice of this cake every day. That's coupon rate. However, some want the entire cake after a certain period of time. Let's suppose after a month, after a year, after 10 years, right? So the pieces of these cakes are nothing but your coupons, the interest payments, or we can also call it as coupon rate, right? And the entire cake, I can say that that's a principal, right? So there are different requirements. Let's suppose if I take an example of an investor who wants a regular interest, an investor who wants a regular interest, in that case he'll be more of interested in the interest component of this bond rather than the principal component, right? Let's suppose now there is an insurance company. Okay, there is an insurance company. The insurance company is having an obligation to pay a policy holder 1 crore after 10 years. So the insurance company here, in order to deliver the obligation, they are more of interested in buying the principal component of the bond, because they need the money in one shot rather than multiple time frames, right? They don't need the money every year, but they need the money after 10 years, right? After 10 years they need the money. So I hope you guys are even just able to understand the base of this particular circular. That's called as stripping. When we separate the principal component and sell it off separately, when we separate the interest components and we sell that separately, that's nothing but stripping. We are just parting the bonds in two components, principal as well as interest component. Slowly you'll be able to understand each and everything. Okay, so wait for a few minutes. I'll definitely make you understand each and everything. So this is particularly a circular, a notification which came on the RBI website, stripping or reconstruction in the government, say state government securities. So central government securities were already permitted for the stripping or reconstruction facility. They have already permitted since 1st April 2010. The central government securities were already eligible. Now they have made it, they have allowed the stripping of state government bonds as well, state development loans as well. We can call it as state development loan as well. Why? Because bond होता कुछ नहीं है, देखो घूम फिर के एक लोन ही होता है, right? It's a debt. It's a debt. Okay. So on 12th of June, this particular notification came out, right, regarding the stripping and reconstruction in the state government security. And they have, it's not like that कि अभी से discuss हो रहा था, right? It was already in the discussion. It was already in the discussion. We can see here that the statement on the development and regulatory policies announced on August 2019, proposal to introduce stripping or reconstruction facility for the state development loan as well. So here we can see that in 2019 as well, it was suggested कि आपको ये कर देना चाहिए, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स के अंदर ये चीज कर देनी चाहिए, राइट? Introduction of stripping facility for the state development loan. So now it has been implemented from 12th June 2025. Now let's understand what is this concept, right? First let's try to understand the concept of strips. So let me just give you a quick purpose and background. Strips stands for, the first thing is the full form of the strips, right? Separate trading of registered interest in principal of securities. So we all know that in debt securities, just like bonds, we do have two components, the principal component and the interest component. And in strips is a concept where we separate the trading of registered principal and the registered interest. As of now, it is just one security, bond. It is having both the principal and the interest component. However, if I try to separate each and every component, like I'll be selling the principal as a separate security and I'll be selling the interest component as a separate security, then that concept is called as stripping, right? That concept is none other than stripping. Now it allows government securities to be separated into individual interest and principal components, which can be traded separately in the market. So I can separately sell it in the market. Now there might be many questions in your mind कि सर ये होता कैसे, right? आप बॉन्ड को सेपरेट कर ही क्यों रहे हो, क्या जरूरत है? इंटरेस्ट कंपोनेंट आपको हर साल मिल रहा है, प्रिंसिपल आपको एक साथ मिल जाएगा कभी ना कभी मेच्योरिटी पे. Why you are kind of separating this thing? Each and everything I'll be definitely decoding in this video, right? थोड़ा सा पेशेंस रखना. प्रीवियस स्टेटस क्या था? दिस फैसिलिटी हैज बीन एलिजिबल इन दी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, ओके, 2010 से. नाउ फ्रॉम 2025 जून 2025 इट इज नाउ अवेलेबल फॉर द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज एज वेल. सो ये कोई नया कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज में ऑलरेडी अलाउड था. नाउ वी हैव जस्ट एक्सटेंडेड इट टू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, राइट? Now what is stripping in government securities? When a government issues a bond, let's suppose a state government issues a bond, right, and it promises to pay the interest. Obviously दो चीजें होंगी इसके अंदर, principal और interest component. Now it has promised to pay the interest component maybe half yearly or maybe annually, that can depend on case to case basis, and to repay the principal at the end of the bond tenure, let's suppose at the end of the 10 years. So for 10 years they'll be paying us the interest element, right? They will pay me the interest element for 10 years, and at the end of the 10 year they will be also paying me the principal. They will also pay the principal. That's how it works. That's how a bond works, right? So every year state government will be paying the interest component, which we also call it as coupon rate, and at the end of the 10th year they will repay the money back. That's how loan works, that's how bond works. Both are same only, right? When you strip a bond, you separate the interest principal, you separate the interest payments and the principal repayments into individual standalone securities. Now these pieces can be treated separately in the market. Let me just give you a quick example. Let's suppose Maharashtra government has issued 1000 crore worth security. Okay, the security is worth 1000 crore. It's a bond. Okay, it's a bond. The tenure is 10 years. Then definitely they will be paying the interest in the coming 10 years, and at last they will pay the principal amount, right? The coupon rate is 7.85%. Let's take 7% only for the sake of simplicity. 7% paid every year, right? So 10 year is the maturity. So can I say that I'll be paying the coupon 10 times in 10 years, right? Every year one time, in 10 years 10 times. 10 बार में इंटरेस्ट कंपोनेंट दे दूंगा, सही है? 10 बार में क्या कर दूंगा? इंटरेस्ट कंपोनेंट दे दूंगा. तो कैन आई से दैट 1 2 3 एंड सो ऑन. I do have 10 interest payment obligations. I do have 10 interest payment obligation, and at the last I'll be paying the principal. So I have one principal obligation. Now can I separate these obligations and sell it as a separate component instead of a bond? Can I break this bond into two parts? Yes, you can break this bond, right? Now the principal amount is 1000 crore, right? I'll be getting 1000 crore at the end of the 10th year, right? So why not to sell it as a separate component? So I can even sell it as a separate component. Let's suppose I offer principal payment at a issue price of 990 crore, or let's suppose 900 crore. Let's take 900 crore as the example. So I'm selling this principal component which is worth 1000 crore at 900 crore only. That means let's suppose if you are purchasing this principal component, आप मुझसे खरीद रहे हो तो मैं आपको कितने पे दूंगा? 900 रुपये पे बेच दूंगा. I'll sell you at 900 rupees, and at the end of the 10th year I'll pay you 1000 crore rupee, right? I'll pay you 1000 crore rupee. So the difference between this 900 and the 1000 crore is nothing but 100 crore, which will be a time value of money, which will be your time value of money, right? So as of now you need to pay me 900 rupees, and at maturity after 10 years I'll be paying you 1000 rupees in single shot. Now who will be interested in this kind of deal? Maybe insurance companies, maybe pension funds. Why? Because they also might be having similar kind of obligation, right? Let's suppose Mr. A has taken an insurance policy from an insurer company, right? They have taken an insurance company, and that insurer company has to deliver 1000 crore to Mr. A at the end of the 10th year, right? Now this particular insurer also needs to invest the money. So definitely they can invest in state government bonds as of now, because there is a separate principal component as well which the investors can sell, right? So it works like that. Now there can be certain interest payment components as well, right? Now we know that every year the interest amount will remain same only, right? The interest amount will remain same only. Just give me a second. The amount of principal is 1000 crore, and how much I'm getting out of it as interest? 7%, right? So every year can I say that 70 crore, 70 crore, and so on, we will be getting on this particular bond, right? Now the bondholder can also sell the separate interest component. Let's suppose the bondholder wants to sell the 4th year interest as a financial instrument to some investor, तो definitely ये 4th year का interest किसी को बेच सकता है आज ही, right? Let's suppose say at 35 crore. So he can sell it at 35 crore and the investor will be receiving 70 crore on the maturity. Why? Because ये bond कब होने वाला है, 4th year पे 70 crore पे करने वाला है. So rather than purchasing the entire bond, you have just purchased a component of the bond, the interest component of the bond, right? That too सिर्फ 4th year का. वैसे आप 5th year का भी purchase कर सकते हो, वैसे आप directly principal भी purchase कर सकते हो. तो this is a kind of, you have separated, you have broken a asset class into multiple asset classes, right? In this manner you have separated a particular asset class, which is bond, into multiple asset classes, that is payments of interest and payment of principal. So depending on the need of the investor, definitely they can either invest in the interest component or they can invest in the principal component as well. तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज, पेंशन फंड्स, उन लोगों को किस में ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट होगा? प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट को बाय करने में ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट होगा. व्हाई? बिकॉज आफ्टर 10 years they have an obligation on their table, so definitely they can invest in your central state government securities principal component and they can get a big amount at the end of the 10 year, right? However, investors like me, retail investors, if I need yearly cash flow, then definitely I can invest in the interest component as well, right? So here I can tell that 10 coupon strips are there, which is nothing but interest scripts, right? And one principal script is there, which is the final payment that I'll be getting on the maturity, right? So this is all the concept of script is all about, right? Sorry, stripping is all about, right? The concept of stripping is just that we are separating the bond principal component and the interest component. If I talk about reconstruction, now there is one more concept, reconstruction. Now what we did is we separated a bond, interest as well as principal component, right? Now when we are again reconstructing this bond, again I'm combining the interest and the principal component into the bond. So this is nothing but the reconstruction, right? So this phase was stripping. This was the stripping phase. And this particular stage in which I am combining again the principal and the interest component into one single bond, into one single financial instrument, that's nothing but reconstruction, right? So these are the concepts basically, and why we are doing it, why the government has doing these kind of things. So because it gives flexibility to the investors. देखो सबका अपना रिक्वायरमेंट होता है, किसी इन्वेस्टर को चाहिए होता है धीरे धीरे करके पैसा, किसी को चाहिए होता है एक साथ पैसा. सो डेफिनेटली सबका अपना अपना रिक्वायरमेंट होता है. सो इन्वेस्टर अपने हिसाब से वो वाली सिक्योरिटी बाय कर सकता है, राइट? नाउ स्ट्रिप्स आर जीरो कूपन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. व्हाई वी आर सेइंग जीरो कूपन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स? बिकॉज हम 1000 करोड़ का ये तो मेच्योरिटी पे मिलने वाला है, राइट? प्रिंसिपल उसको आज ही कितने में इशू कर रहे हैं? 900 करोड़ पे. सो दैट मीन्स आप यहां पे कोई इंटरेस्ट पे नहीं कर रहे, आप डायरेक्टली मेच्योरिटी पे पेमेंट कर रहे हो. सो कैन आई से दैट दिस इज इशूड एट अ डिस्काउंट, issued at a discount and redeemed at face value, right? So that's what a feature of zero coupon bond is all about, right? We are not here paying the coupon, rather we are just giving the bond at a discounted price. We are giving the principal at a discounted price, and that's what we are doing with the coupon itself, right? Every year I need to pay 70 crore. I'm just selling it off, right? मैं उसको जल्दी सेल कर रहा हूं. किसी को मान लो 60 करोड़ में ही सेल कर दिया, तो मेच्योरिटी जैसे ही मान लो सेकेंड ईयर पे मुझे 70 करोड़ मिलने वाला है बॉन्ड से, मैं उसको पहले ही सेल कर रहा हूं 60 करोड़ पे, राइट? सो आई कैन गेट अ एग्जिट अर्ली. सामने वाले को ऑटोमेटिकली दूसरे साल पे 70 करोड़ मिल जाएगा. ही और शी कैन अर्न 10 करोड़ रुपी लाइक दैट, राइट? सो डेफिनेटली अलग अलग तरह के इन्वेस्टर होते हैं, एंड दिस इज अ ग्रेट वे टू इंक्रीज द लिक्विडिटी, राइट? टू इंक्रीज द लिक्विडिटी. So earlier it was only permitted in central government bonds. Now they have permitted it to the state government bonds as well, right? If I give you the key highlights of this circular, then this particular circular is effective from 12th of June 2025. Eligible security must be fixed coupon securities only, just as we discussed. 7% was the rate in our example. it can be fixed coupon security as well. It cannot be floating or variable nature wali security. The coupon rate must be fixed, and that's what the case of bonds is always there. We always have a fixed rate wale bonds, though variable wale bhi aate hain, but here this particular provision will apply only for the fixed coupon rate security, right? Must be issued by the state government or the union territories, right? ये तो है ही उनके लिए. Residual maturity must be up to 14 years, right? Residual maturity कहाँ तक होनी चाहिए? 14 years तक होनी चाहिए, उसके बाद का नहीं चलेगा. Up to 14 years is the permitted limit. Minimum amount outstanding shall be 1000 crore on the date of stripping. Whenever you are doing stripping, whenever you are separating the principal component from the interest component, then you need to have at least a minimum outstanding amount of 1000 crore of that bond, right? 1000 crore उसके outstanding होने चाहिए. Must be eligible for SLRs investments, right? तो ये जो bonds है जिसके अंदर आप stripping कर रहे हो, these should be eligible bonds for the SLR purpose, right? A bank needs to maintain SLR ratio, statutory liquidity ratio. So definitely अगर बैंक को एलिजिबिलिटी में आ रहा है तो banks will also start buying these kind of securities. This has been done to encourage the liquidity in the market, right? Transferable in the secondary market, you can also sell that thing in the secondary market. What is the process of stripping or reconstruction? It is done through the e-cobus system of the RBI. We already have e-cobus system in place, right? So two types of market participants are there. One is the SGL account holders. Those who are having the SGL account with the RBI, they can directly place the request in the e-cobus system for the stripping or reconstruction. However, if you don't have access to the SGL account of RBI, then gilt account holders must request the custodians. Now, you can request a custodian who is having a CSGL account with RBI, constituents SGL account with the RBI. So the custodian here will be acting on your behalf, and he will be placing the order on the e-cobur, right? So there is a particular nomenclature as well. So there is a particular nomenclature. हर चीज़ का एक system होता है, right? So यहाँ पे भी ये system given है कि इस format के अंदर आपके ISIN को मार्क किया जाएगा. अब देखो स्ट्रिप्स आपने दो तरीके में ब्रेक कर दी, राइट? इंटरेस्ट अलग ब्रेक किए, प्रिंसिपल अलग ब्रेक किया. अब इंटरेस्ट जो होंगे वो बहुत सारे इंटरेस्ट होंगे, फर्स्ट ईयर, सेकंड ईयर, थर्ड ईयर, फोर्थ ईयर, सबके अलग ISIN बनेंगे. ISIN एक कोड होता है, यूनिक कोड होता है. जैसे आपका पैन नंबर होता है, वैसे सिक्योरिटीज की केस में क्या होता है? ISIN होता है, राइट? सो इस तरह से यहाँ पे उनकी स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन रहेगी. एंड हु कैन रिक्वेस्ट फॉर स्ट्रिपिंग? SGL account holders. These are generally the large institutions like banks and primary dealers. They do have access to the direct SGL account of RBI, right? So they can request for the stripping and reconstruction via RBI's e-cobur system. However, if you don't have a SGL account with RBI, you can access the gilt account. You can access the way of gilt account holders. So small investors, they can definitely go via custodian, and the custodian will place the same request on your behalf to the RBI on the platform, right? So the custodian will be using the CSGL account with the RBI to submit the request on behalf of the gilt account holder, right? Now what are the conditions for stripping SGCs? The securities must be fixed coupon. We already discussed that the security needs to be fixed coupon rate security. It can't be done with the variable coupon rate security. ठीक है, वेरिएबल होगी तो क्या होगा, उसका रेट ही पता नहीं होगा, तो आप अलग अलग इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स को बेचोगे कैसे, राइट? हाउ यू विल बी एबल टू सेल इट? दैट तो टाइम विल टेल कि वेरिएबल के अंदर क्या होने वाला, राइट? इशूड बाय द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड यूनियन टेरिटरीज. रेजिडुअल मैच्योरिटी कब तक होनी चाहिए? 14 ईयर्स तक होनी चाहिए, तब तक चलेगी, उसके आगे नहीं चलेगी. हैव एटलीस्ट 1000 करोड़ आउटस्टैंडिंग एज ऑन द स्ट्रिपिंग डेट. 1000 करोड़ आउटस्टैंडिंग में होने चाहिए. एंड बी SLR एलिजिबल. सो बैंक उसके अंदर इन्वेस्ट कर पाए, उसको SLR एलिजिबल होगा तो ही इन्वेस्टमेंट हो पाएंगे, राइट? सो इट शुड बी अ SLR एलिजिबल सिक्योरिटी in the best interest and be transferable in the market as well. Why this is important? सर हम ब्रेक कर ही क्यों रहे हैं? देखो इससे लिक्विडिटी बढ़ती है. कुछ लोगों को मेच्योरिटी पे पैसा चाहिए होता है, कुछ लोगों को हर मंथ चाहिए होता है, कुछ लोगों को एनुअली चाहिए होता है, तो दे कैन स्ट्रक्चर इट अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर ओन चॉइस. दैट्स व्हाई इट विल एनहांस द लिक्विडिटी, राइट? वाइडनिंग द इन्वेस्टर बेस. डिफरेंट इन्वेस्टर्स जैसे कि इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज, पेंशन फंड्स अपने हिसाब से अपने कैश फ्लो मैनेज कर सकते हैं, अपने असेट लाइबिलिटी मिसमैनेज को भी यहाँ से सही कर सकते हैं. एंड इट्स अ ग्रेट रिस्क मैनेजमेंट टूल, राइट? It's a great risk management tool as well. The companies, the institutions can now definitely manage their asset and liability risk mismatches, right? Okay, so I have given a summary as well. So at a glance, you can download this particular PDF from the Oliveboard application and or from the Telegram channel of Oliveboard, and you can just have a look at the summary pointers as well, which are important for your examination, right? And in 2010, when they were providing the eligibility to the सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज एज वेल, तो ये नोटिफिकेशन आया था, यहाँ पे भी लिखा हुआ था देखो, जीरो कूपन यील्ड कर्व. सो ये सब जीरो कूपन बेस्ड सिक्योरिटीज होती है, राइट? उसके बाद फॉर द स्ट्रिप्स हैव जीरो री इन्वेस्टमेंट रिस्क. नाउ देयर इज नो री इन्वेस्टमेंट रिस्क एट ऑल, राइट? आई डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट माई कैश फ्लोज इन द स्ट्रिप्स, राइट? And we can see that it's a great tool for managing the asset liability, right? ALM बोलते हैं इसको, asset liability management. बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज में, गवर्नमेंट में ऑफिस होता है, राइट? इसका सेपरेट डिपार्टमेंट होता है, ALM. कितनी बार asset liability mismatches क्रिएट हो जाते हैं, and definitely you can fill those gap by using these kind of securities, right? So that's all about stripping and reconstruction. Thank you so much for watching the video. मिलते हैं किसी और वीडियो के अंदर. बाय बाय, टेक केयर.